looked after me, brother, when we were children. You always had my back. You took all the blame when our father caught us doing things that drove him mad. Through the years I could lean on you when I messed up. I'd call you in the night, but I broke too many promises and we split up. Though I still need ya, you gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I could use your helping hand tonight. I wanna say that I'm sorry, I got sidetracked and I left you in the cold. I've seen your side of the story, I felt the drawback. My mistake took its toll. Finally, I have realized I was dead wrong. I wasn't thinking straight. No.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart, it's the heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over the world. Today, it is December 8th. We are already into our second episode into December. This is episode 163. What a year it's been, boys and girls. Crazy, crazy, crazy. We are already just a couple of weeks away from a jolly red giant floating down our chimneys. Before too long, we're going to be saying 2023. Pretty crazy to think about. It seems like just yesterday we were saying 2000. Hard to believe that was that long ago. But hey, guys, thanks so much for being here. If this is your first time, I'll say this first real quick. If you're watching live, thank you so much for taking some time out on a Thursday night. I know there's a bunch of other things you could be doing. One of them probably watching NFL football or a bunch of other things. So you're here, and maybe you're watching that in the background of something else or simultaneously, but I appreciate you for being here, hanging out with me here tonight to talk a little bit about BV and some of our chapter stuff. But yeah. So if this is your first time here, please go ahead and make sure if you're here live, do the little subscribe-y dealy bobber there on YouTube, and hit the little bell thingy because you'll be notified when this channel goes live for every episode and other stuff that we may do. So that's exciting. So let's get that subscription count up for the channel here. So do that if you don't mind. Okay. If you're listening on a standard podcast platform after the fact, thank you so much. But you should also do that, right? You should also get over there to YouTube and click on that thing. So, all right, guys, tonight we are going to be speaking with a co-captain from down in Mexico with the BV Jalisco chapter. Very cool stuff. They just had a really fun weekend of charity. They've been doing stuff. They've been kicking butt. They've been kicking ass. We'll just say it. They've been kicking ass. Doing a lot of great things down there. One of our other buddies of the show, one of our other friends of the show, Mr. Radar, Caps for Days, from our Philly friend. What else can you say about him? He was just over there, or down there, I guess, down there in Mexico. Just got back yesterday, the day before. He spent some time with the boys down there and participated also in the charity endeavors that they did this past week. But yeah, so we've got a little bit of video footage. We've got a great interview with the co-cap from the chapter, Bernie, or I said I was going to try to continue to pronounce his name correctly, Bernabe, or Bernabe. Now that I'm thinking about it, anyway, Bernabe, that's it, Bernabe. Yeah, I think that's right. I wrote it out phonetically so I could do it. Bernabe, I think is how you do it. Anyway, I often butcher names from people in other countries. So, sorry, Bernie. But anyway, he's talking to us about what life has been like for him with the chapter and the stuff that they're doing. So, recently, and the future is bright. We got some stuff to talk about with some other chapters around, some cool news that came out. We have some chapter merch, some new chapter merch to talk about. So we got all sorts of little stuff to be going in here. Yeah, it's Bernabe, not B. Bernabe, it's not B. Reading in the comments section. Everybody's correcting me, and that's great. I love to see it. But hey, as we always do, we also normally have a calendar of events. At the end of this episode, we're not going to do a calendar of events because we're resetting for next year. But I will mention one event that is kicking off the year within the first couple of weeks that I have. So I will mention that so people can start planning for that if they are wanting to go to that. But hey, let's just kick off episode 163 by sharing some chapter merch. Boys, what do you think? Okay, chapter merch. Before I get into chapter merch, I know I always like to say hi to the boys and girls that may be here in the thing live here, but I have to laugh at Craig here. Craig says, I like to call Bernabe bro because I can't pronounce it either. I love that. Yeah. That's why some people just go by initials, right? I'm surprised nobody calls him B unless there's somebody else that's known as B down there. But anyway, so chapter merch, guys, we have a few things, just a couple things that I've got on the books, but I want to let you know about Bearded Villains, Maryland. Bearded Villains, Maryland. I think the first time we mentioned this was last week. They have a brand new patch out. It's very unique. Has the big, bold colors of their flag with Maryland with the crown on it. It's available at marylandoriginals.bigcartel.com. 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 I don't have the price on that, so I do apologize, but standard patch pricing, I'm sure. Is what it is. Smoky Mountain. This is the last weekend of this because they're doing a pre-sale for their event in January, which I'll be mentioning later. Smoky Mountain, their 5th anniversary shirt pre-order. Shirts range from $16 to $25. And I don't know what I'm just hitting there. $16 to $25. available at smokymtnvillains.bigcartel.com. smokymtnvillains.bigcartel.com. All proceeds of this shirt sale will go to the overall donation to Isaiah 117 House, Isaiah 117 House, which I'm sure is the beneficiary of this year's anniversary event. So grab that. This is the last weekend for that. As a matter of fact, I think the 10th. So what? Another 2 days is all you get on this guy, on this shirt. And then this one just popped up in the last couple days, I think. The BV Bytown Originals came out strong with a 3x3 new X Factor patch. It's $15 Canadian, available at beardsofcharacter.com. Beardsofcharacter.com. Bytown Originals, their new X Factor patch. 3x3, big bold printing. Very cool. It looks like you could just like touch it and rub it. I know that sounds funny. It's got texture to it, is what I mean. That's what I mean to say, guys. It's got texture. Don't go out of the wrong way. But that's what I got so far with merch. So get out there and get some of that stuff. All right. Now, I want to give a shout out to a couple of chapters for some cool stuff. So let's get into chapter news. All right, so this is the last weekend for this as well, I believe. No, it's not quite the last weekend. They're doing it until December 20th. The First Coast Villains are doing a toy drive give back. So if you can't get down there into Florida to help out physically to actually donate a gift, you can send donations, monetary donations via PayPal and Cash App. So if you're interested in doing that and being a good bro to help out, send them a couple bucks. Just go ahead and screenshot this right here. And there you go. Screenshot that, and then you got the QR codes for both PayPal and Cash App. Or if you missed out on the chance there to screenshot it and you haven't screenshotted it yet, go ahead and just go to the First Coast Villains IG page where they have this posted. But you can help out with that. Next up, I got to give a shout out to our boys up in Montreal. They purchased and wrapped 122 gifts for Christmas for people. And they did this from the money that they raised at Poutine Fest just a little bit ago. So remember back when they were doing Poutine Fest, the money went to them being able to buy these toys and wrap them. 122 gifts for kids. So very cool stuff. Congratulations, Montreal, on a very successful Poutine Fest, but also carried it forward to get some gifts wrapped up for the kids. Now, I will say, one of the other cool things that I learned this week, sometimes, you see different chapters, new logos pop out. And you're like, hey, somebody redesigned a logo, looks pretty cool, whatever. And then obviously when chapters split, you get different logos coming out too. So I was kind of surprised when one of our Australia chapters came out with a really cool, very unique new logo and a new name. And so I reached out and I found out, now this is news to me. This was news to me this week. Maybe it's news to you. Maybe not. I don't know. If you're in Australia, you probably already knew this. But the NSW chapter, the NSW chapter, BV NSW, down in Australia, has basically what they've done is, as far as chapter purposes go, they split up. They split both north and south and then renamed themselves. So, as I understand it from a business perspective, NSW is still in existence, but not as a active chapter. It's more of the business side of things that they're going to be underneath that umbrella. So what they're going to do now is there's a North NSW and a South NSW chapter, and we're going to show those logos to you right now. Very cool stuff. I saw one of them, but I did not see the other one earlier, and I found it this evening and earlier this week. This is the one I found, or this is the one I had seen on IG. New chapter logo on Australia. So NSW South. They are now known as the Harborside Villains. I got to give them credit. Well, I got to give both these chapters credit because they took a completely different approach to logos, and I love it. And they went with kind of a cartoony feel to it, but it's awesome, I think, and very unique. Perfect for them down there, down under, with the Harborside Villains logo and name, with the koala bear with the sunglasses on. Very cool stuff. He has himself a little beard there too, flexing his muscles. So I love this one. Very cool. And then the other one is for the NSW North chapter, right? And this is one I did not know of and didn't even see until I searched for it this evening. But there it is. NSW North is now known as Cut Snake Villains. Cut Snake Villains. So, hey, both of them went totally different directions. I love it. They both could not have gone in more opposing directions with these logos, but I love it. It's great. And I love that chapters out there showing their own identity and going against the grain a little bit. They're not going with typical logos that we see out there. So very cool. Mad congrats and props to the boys down at NSW, both North and South, otherwise known as the Harborside and Cut Snake Villains. And that's chapter news for this week of December 8th, 2022. All right, guys. So I've teased you a little bit. Had a really fun conversation actually earlier today with Bernabe. Am I getting it? Getting close. And I had a great conversation with him earlier about his journey, about the direction of the chapter, just the general mindset of how he approaches things, and then also some really cool information about what they did with this charity event, give back that they did this past week. So please enjoy an interview that I did just a little bit ago, earlier today, with Bernabe. Maybe. Enjoy this interview I did with him earlier. Okay, this week, all the way from Mexico, in Jalisco, I have the co-captain of Jalisco here with us to talk to us a little bit about what their chapter has been doing and all the good charity stuff they've been doing. Now, I'm going to pronounce his name correctly. I told him I was going to do it. I want everybody to welcome Bernabe. Bernabe, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, people? I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. It's a pleasure to be part of your podcast. It's about time.
It is.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I've been trying for a while. It's the language barrier sometimes, trying to find somebody that's comfortable enough to want to talk to me in my language because I'm terrible in Spanish.
Right, in front of a camera, right? It's just for me. It's my first time being on a podcast, so I definitely it's behind your mind, right? You're like, oh, I'm gonna be on a podcast. I'm gonna be speaking with, being interviewed. I never been interviewed before. Those are kind of the things that go through our minds, and I guess people get camera shy or something.
Yeah, but the thing I love about this, and this is one of the things I love about this show, is it gives me the chance to meet people from around the world that I don't get a chance to talk to very often, and for you, in this case, to talk about your chapter and let everybody else know that may not be familiar with your chapter in this case, with a lot of the stuff that you guys do, and some of the neat things you guys do, the struggles that you guys have that are maybe specific to your area, and the cool charity stuff that goes on down there. But let's just start off a little bit. Let everybody get to know you a little bit. How did you find Bearded Villains and get involved with Jalisco?
All right. Well, to me, it was a kind of like a funny story. I was just going through Instagram one day and saw one of my friends, because I used to live 7 years ago back in California, and I just saw one of my friends posting this flag, right? The flag from Bearded Villains, and explaining how he he was very happy to be part of this brotherhood. Then I started digging more into his Instagram page and started figuring out that it's all about an actual brotherhood for bearded men, right? And not only that, but going beyond through all these values and the whole charity thing and the beard, of course, interested in me. So I started messaging him and asking him, hey, how did you get to be part of this group? How do I get to it? Is this available? I see that it's a worldwide kind of thing. And he just kind of pretty much guided me through the process. This was back in 2019. He pretty much just, put me with the right people. At that time, it was a captain called Bierdomo from Veracruz, Mexico, and that just kind of put things together. From there, I pretty much did my research. You know how this thing goes when we're starting. It's all about doing your research, getting with the right people, and eventually I figured that here in Jalisco, where I was living at the time, because I'm originally from Sonora, which is a northern state here from Mexico. And while my stay here, I noticed that some people were already putting this together. There were about three people only at that time. Obviously, not wouldn't know a lot about the rules, how the game goes, and how to establish a chapter. So I pretty much also had the opportunity to help them out, even though they already had something structured and were doing a few things here and there. They really weren't an official chapter, right? And we really didn't know much about this process. So I have helped out. I had the opportunity to help them out with the whole, like you said, the language barrier there a little bit on information. Now that we're more people in Mexico, it has come to be a little bit easier for new chapters to get together, right? Because we pretty much know how things roll, and we help each other like brothers, right? But back then, not other states, right? Mexico City, also Durango. They had Veracruz back then and a few others, but that's how we came together.
So you actually helped kind of start this chapter in Jalisco, right?
Yes, and it's kind of a little bit of, I guess, I'm really thankful for my chapter, right? That they have that sort of respect for that. But I've always put out there that I feel like sometimes I don't deserve the co-captain, but they have this respect for me for all the things that I've done for them, and everything that they've done for me, and it's just, yeah, the answer is yes. I help put this together, make it become a thing, make it become an actual official chapter, along with the help of others, of course, like Lalo. And we had a couple of hiccups in the beginning, but we managed to get together and accomplish what we have done so far.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Now, tell me, what is since you've been a part of this thing now for a few years, and since the chapter's growing and you guys are really thriving down there, what's been some of your favorite parts of it? Has it been, finding a brotherhood of men that have the same values? Has it been the charity stuff? What's been something that really hits home for you?
It is what I like about you. You got the questions, huh? You got the questions. That's a really good question. Honestly, at the beginning, it was kind of like the brotherhood, right? It was just finding a new circle of friends, and I was really happy about the whole charity stuff going on. But it really didn't hit me until one day I just one day I was just having some personal issues, and I started really just going over what our values are and how we the family value coming through to me, and how it's really important, the whole brotherhood part of we should be together as actual brothers and family and help each other. That kind of really got to me. And there was this one time I was just speaking with the guys, and I was just saying, hey, I know we're a small group, but right now one of the most important things is staying together and really helping each other and building that trust, which was kind of like the not difficult part, but it's one that a lot of people kind of close to sometimes. And when you're a small group, you really want to make that foundation, right? Of having that trust between each other, knowing that we're here for each other, and that it's not just the beard and the charity part, but it's also that one that we are also want to make sure that everybody understands the values that and live them, right? Not just not just have them there as an actual ornament, but really go back to and remind us what we're here for.
I love that you said that, that it's not just an ornament. I love that. You see that so many times. Some of the chapters that have been around for a while, we see, that everybody talks about the brotherhood, but you don't. I think that one of the good, if there is a good thing really that came out of the pandemic, time frame with coronavirus, is that it made us have to look a little closer at ourselves and recognize that we're still here as a brotherhood. And some of the chapters, and I know you guys were one of them too, and my chapter was one as well, that started just before that time frame. It was relatively new around the time, of 2020, and it made you have to pay attention, I think, closer to those values and what you can do for each other, the brothers,
Exactly.
and pay more attention to that rather than, hey, let's take pictures and do all this other stuff. I really love that you said that.
Yeah, and good point you mentioned there, about the whole coronavirus thing going on. Unfortunately, we had a loss. One of our brothers that was barely starting with us. He was he was about to get his villain patch and stuff, and unfortunately, he passed away due to the coronavirus, and that really hit everybody, right? Um, to really understand that sometimes, because we barely had met him, and even though he was such a nice person, you really don't know what's going behind their mind, on their house. Like, you, that's what I meant by that bond that we want to really create right now. It's, most of us really have bonded the way we want to. We have we have some new folks there that are currently hopefuls and supporters, that we really want to make sure they understand this, right? That it's just not us going out there doing this whole charity stuff, but it's also building that bond. Um, we really want to get to that point where that trust, that level of trust, is really across our whole chapter. And we're not a big chapter, so imagine when there's a big chapter.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, I think, to make sure that even if you grow, that the people that you bring in, numbers are great, but the people you bring in still have to have that desire to have that focus, to stay tightly knit. And because if you start to get away from that, you lose your identity for what you are. And
Exactly.
I think that's really important for you to keep up with that. So that's, I'm you say that you don't think you're worthy of being co-captain, but your mindset is perfect. You are right thinking where somebody in your position needs to, for the growth and the health of your chapter. So that's refreshing to hear.
Yeah, and I think that's what they really try to make me understand too, right? They're like, well, Bernie, we appreciate your ideas. We appreciate the way you make us come together, because it takes somebody to initiate, to have that initiative of putting, I don't know, a new charity together, a new event together, right? And this kind of reminds me as well that one topic you had, which was one of the my favorite podcast that you've had, was the BV burnout, right?
Yeah.
Burnout kind of thing is that is a challenge that a lot of people go through. That we really, and I think that a factor that causes it sometimes is just that lack of engagement, that lack of bond. A lot of times, yes, I understand we all have our lives and people get together, but if you don't really go beyond that to try to invest a little bit more on your brotherhood, or with your brothers. I know a lot of people just hang out, drink here and there, but if you're really not building up that trust, that brotherhood, um, it just doesn't. I feel like it just stays there, right? It doesn't go beyond there. It doesn't go beyond a hand you can count on. It doesn't go beyond a brother you can count on. So
Yeah.
I thought really a really good topic that you discuss.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, one of our brothers over in England gave me that idea, and it was very well received. And it's true. It's I was talking with another brother a few weeks ago about how we as men sometimes we get set in our own ways. And one of the great things I love about BV is that it causes us to have to go out of our comfort zone. It causes us to have to, as adult men, we stay in our box mostly. The people that we've met before, we don't sometimes like to meet new people and let them inside, let them get to know us because we're protective. And one of the things that I think BV has taught me and so many others around is that we need to grow as men, continue to grow as men, no matter how old we get. And one of the ways to do that is to find a common goals and the commonality that we have with other men. It could be a bond, it could be through charity, whatever else it is, and we can't be afraid to do that.
Right, or even if there's, because there's a big diversity between us, right? We have a lot of different people, different cultures, different ideas, and I think that's healthy to our lives, to our manhood. Like it's part of our growth. To a lot of times we are, like you said, we just want to be around the same circle, same people, doing the same things, and sometimes getting a little bit out of our comfortable zone, and having these new conversations with these people that you barely met, or that you just met, or that you just see sometimes when you get together. It's really refreshing. It makes you question things. It makes you think things in a different way. So that's one of the um, things that I love as well from BV, right? That you always get to new conversations and learn from them, from your brothers as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't ever stop learning. And BV gives us the opportunity all the time to learn about cultural differences, about racial differences, about it can be even as far as ethical or religious differences, different things that the way that our brothers live their lives, and I love that part of it. I love it. Well,
Indeed.
you guys have been busy with doing some charity stuff. Can you talk for a minute about this? Because when I see the charity efforts of other chapters outside of the United States, it really hits home, because one of the things I love about what you do and so many other chapters outside of the States is that you guys go into the city. You go to wherever you're trying to help, and you have boots on the ground, and you're there with the people trying to help, and it's so much more refreshing to see, rather than just writing a check, that you're
Yeah.
able to actually to be with those people. So can you talk for a minute about, I know just recently, just a few days ago, you were doing some stuff.
Yeah, definitely. This recent one, we found the opportunity to really go ahead and help out a hospital. It's called the Civil Hospital here in Guadalajara, Jalisco, and it's a hospital that provides medical care for low income, sometimes even free, depending on the severity of the injury or the issue the person has. And a lot of times, these patients that are in there don't have anybody like family members or friends here in the city, and a lot of times people come from other states to take care of them at the hospital, but they have to stay outside the hospital for days, hours, depending on how long it'll take them to be able to get this benefit or this health care. And well, sometimes they don't have something to eat, or it's too far for them to go somewhere to stay. So we found that opportunity. Radar just visit us, and we thought it was a great moment to do a charity for that, right? We had it behind our minds, and we saw the opportunity. We went out there. Everything came together so smooth. I'm really happy about that. People just made up their foods at home. We gathered some clothes, some blankets, put them together, went right away, and everything worked like magically, like if it was meant for us to be there that day. If you had the opportunity to see the pictures and videos, people were just really thankful for us, providing them with these things that they needed. And yeah, it's been a journey, man. I know that we have some points that are identified. The city is big. We're a small group, but we're trying to find those in most need right now. We do have some points where we know we can always rely on to help, because there's always going to be somebody who needs help there. But we try to find new places, new ways that we can be helping the community.
Yeah. How does that, I mean, to be able to see the faces of the people and in some cases, shake their hand or actually, give them something in person that is going to help them for that night or help them for a few days even. How does that make you feel, man?
Me personally, what hit me the most is provide, especially this season, right, where it's really cold out there and stuff. Seeing people with these, old blankets or really not enough clothing, it just makes me feel really nice. Like I love the fact of seeing somebody, being warm like if I would be at home, and and just them seeing their face of gratitude, and also their happiness when we give them even a shirt, a sweater, or whatever it is just heartwarming. Like there's no words to express it. Like this is new to me, even though I've been in this for since 2019. It's still every time I'm in there in doing this, it's just I can't describe it. Somebody needs to live that, right? That's why I always say we're not doing this, take pictures. And because a lot of people question that here in Mexico, when we're taking a picture, we always try to ask for permission for a video, for a picture. But inspiring charity, right? That's our goal. That's what we're trying to do as BV as a whole. And when you really make people go out there and try this with you, because we've had people who wants to come and support us. I have family members who say, hey, I want to be part of that, can you take me? Jump in. The more the best, right? And when they live it, they also come back home without speechless, right? They're like, I loved it, I want to continue doing it. Every time you tell you do this, please let me know, and I'll help out on my own way. I feel the same way. I really can't describe it, man. But it's beautiful knowing that somebody's out there, that needs help. And even if I was in the same position, regardless of what it is, right? um, it's just beautiful.
Oh man, it's great. It's great. I can see you guys are your chapter's in great hands, man. What's on deck for you guys in the coming months here going forward then?
Well, a lot. We trying to reactivate our chapter. Sometimes I know we've been active, but sometimes I feel we can give out more, right? And that's just one of the plans we as captains have right now. We want to really lead the pack, make sure that everybody understands that we gotta be more. We gotta engage more with the chapter. I feel like my chapter lately, even though we are active, quote unquote, I feel we can be doing a lot more for our community. There's a lot of areas of opportunities that we can work on, and that's kind of like the plan for us right now. Become even stronger, help those that are in the really interest of being part of the chapter as well. And I'm looking forward to for our upcoming. I think we're next for that meet, so we're looking forward to that as well. Start planning it even since now, right?
So which remind everybody which meet and what time or when is this?
Well, we don't have any dates yet, but we, as the next chapter, are next year in Mexico, right? CDMX has had their meet. Durango just had their meet, and I think we're up next. So we're trying. That's on the plans. Stay tuned.
All
We
right.
our anniversary quite a few months ago, so that's also always in the plans every year.
Wow. Okay, we got teased. We got teased. We got something to look forward to down there. I'm excited. I've never been to Mexico, but this would be a good chance to one day come down. I have to find somebody that can be my full-time interpreter though. So if you're on deck for that,
I got it, Brian. You know it.
all right. Man, I'm so excited about your future, and I love the drive that you guys have. And there's no doubt that with you guys at the helm, Jalisco is going to be doing some really cool things down the road. Please stay in touch and keep us posted on videos and the photos that you guys share, because that stuff, like I tell people, that stuff really, and and you've already said it, that inspires other people to realize, that's the good stuff. That's the really cool charity stuff to be a part of.
Definitely. And I just want to take a moment to give a shout out to all those captains that helped us throughout the road. And I'm really, really thankful for them, because part of our progress and development as the actual chapter that we come to be, that we have become, it's with their, it couldn't have been done without their help as well and guidance. And yeah, thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, thanks so much for taking some time with me today. I look forward to seeing what happens down the road with you guys, and just keep up the great work, man.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me. Peace.
Take care. Talk to you soon. All right. Bernie. Bernabe. I'm going to be saying that in my sleep, trying to get his name 100% right. But so cool. I love seeing when our chapter guys are able to get there in the streets. And it's no knock. Absolutely. It's no knock on chapters who hold events and they're able to raise money for something else and they write the check. My chapter just did that back in October for Ronald McDonald House. So, but there are times when, whatever charity event you're trying to do, because of the nature of the event or the organization, because of different restrictions, different things that go on, you can't actually get, involved personally in something that organization is doing. So like for us with the Ronald McDonald House, we can't go to the hospital and then, talk to these families. There's not really that we can really do. So what we do is, you put some money forward to help them out with their goals to help the families. But any chance you get to get those boots on the ground and, get a chance to physically be there and see the people's faces, hear them, listen to them. And that goes into two great comments that I had here in the comment section while his interview is playing. Any chance you get to do that, absolutely do that. You absolutely should. Those connections and those types of charity endeavors are some of the most rewarding that you could ever be a part of. Some of my chapter guys are going to back to help out building or delivering and building beds for kids without beds again this weekend, going back for another work day with Sleep in Heavenly Peace to help kids that don't have. So any chance you get to do that stuff in person is always most incredibly rewarding. During that interview, Christian had a great comment here. He said that many of the people we help, he's talking down there in Mexico, many people we help not only need food, but also need to be able to talk and feel heard, since the vast majority of older adults have been abandoned by their families and feel forgotten. Yeah. There's a lot of truth in that. And it goes back to that. What we as adults, a lot of times that's a comfort thing for us. That forces us to get out of our comfort zone. And sometimes we don't want to talk to strangers. It's not in our nature sometimes to do that. But I think fully taking advantage of what we are as bearded villains, we need to do that more. And we need to recognize that the people see us a certain way. And when we are able to go out and have a human connection, a one-to-one human connection, people that are on their own, people that are homeless, people that don't have any kind of regular human connection for that, the amount of uplifting a soul that can do to a person is immeasurable. So Christian's comment, absolutely, you're right. Very, very true. Rob piggybacked off of that as well. He said, It's a problem across the globe, he says. So many just want someone to talk to feel listened, even if it's just a moment. It's not a hard thing to give, just a minute of your time. No, absolutely it's not. And I would hope that we as men, as leaders, and as bearded villains, that we can be examples to that, and that we can show that, as somebody once said, a stranger is only a stranger until you know him, right? And one of our bros that I interviewed for the upcoming film, he reminded me of that when I was talking to him, and during my interview with him, I was just going through some of my interview footage this week, and that's one of the things that he reminded me of. That a stranger's only a stranger till you get to know him, till you talk to him. So, yeah, be open and be willing to give a little bit of your free time, give a little bit of your time, give a little bit of your energy, your personality, with an open ear to listen and hear other people's struggles, other people's stories. And when you listen to these people, you don't have to have an answer. You don't have to have an answer. That's one of the most important things to think about here. When you're talking to a stranger, when you're talking to these people out there, they just want to be heard. They want to feel human. They want that connection, even if just for a few minutes. And a lot of people sometimes are hesitant to do that because they feel like they have to have answers. You don't. You don't have to have answers. Just listen. Just listen. Be respectful and show some humility in those people. But thank you so much for that interview. And Jalisco's got, oh man, they're moving. They're moving. They're doing things, and it's great to see. So one day I'll get a chance to get down there and hang out and meet you guys. Looking forward to that when I eventually can. So I'm scrolling through other comments here. Let's see. All right. Well, yeah, guys, real quick, I also want to, as I was getting ready to move on, I see two more comments that just pop in here, of course. Not sure, granted who that is. But I do not like blaming COVID, but it certainly causes a lot of issues with everyone, he says. It is sad that it has affected us so much, but it has brought out the good in people to be able to help. Yes, 100% agree with that. Nikki coming in strong with a great comment. Also, you have to see how much you could truly help. Just $300 US is 5,890 pesos. A little goes a long way. You can really make a difference. You can make a real difference. Yeah. We don't see that. We don't understand that sometimes here in the States. And I think that's our fault for not recognizing that and not seeing that in some areas of the world, what we think of as just a little bit of money, we don't see how far that money can go in other parts of the world. So, not everybody has a Walmart. Not everybody has fancy stores. Not everybody has a Trader Joe's and all these other things where people just typically go out and buy stuff. A lot of the stuff everywhere else is bought for pennies on the dollar, and we don't see it. So thank you, Nikki, for pointing that out as well. Very good to see. Well, guys, the one thing I did want to mention, here, let's just do this real quick. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo, beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. All right. So the one event that I did want to specifically mention here is the Smoky Mountain Villains 5-year anniversary. Now, we already mentioned their shirts that they're raising money for their event. And you know what? Let's just put a little bit of background music on here, because technically, I guess we are talking a little bit of event calendar stuff here. So it's not so dead air here. But Smoky Mountain Villains have their 5-year anniversary and a beard competition. It's at Tiebreakers in Johnson City, Tennessee. That is the weekend of January 13th and 14th. January 13th and 14th. Benefits Isaiah 117, which, as I'm reading from one of their posts, Isaiah 117 is a place that cares for children awaiting foster placement. Hey, that's pretty cool. Very cool stuff. So, but that's what I just want to pass on right now as far as calendar of events. Right now, just the only thing on the board. I know there's other events coming up in the following months after, following months and weeks. But that's the one I just wanted to get out of the way because it's quickly approaching after the first of the year. That's Friday and Saturday, January 13th and 14th. Johnson City, Tennessee. Smoky Mountain Villains 5-year anniversary and beard competition. So get that on your books if you can go to that. And that's what we got so far. Lots of other stuff coming up. In the coming weeks, we'll be adding to the calendar. If you have an event, as I say this all the time, if you have an event, especially, I would say easily within the first 6 months of the year, if you have an event or you hear of somebody that's doing an event that may not be promoting it yet, all I need is a save the date. I'll research it. I'll find the times. I'll find the locations, all the details. But I just want people to have as much advance notice as they can so that they can plan for if there's someplace they've always wanted to travel to, if there's a location or an event that they've always wanted to go to. I want to get those dates out to people as quickly as possible. So if you hear of something or if you're a part of something, shoot me a message and I'll get it on the books for this here calendar of events. Well, guys, this has been episode 163, and I think we've killed it. I think we've done a pretty good job today. This has been an interesting few weeks for me on the show because of the schedule. So those of you who are here tonight and who have been here on this roller coaster of a schedule that I've been keeping lately, thank you so much for your patience. The show that I'm in, that I'm doing, the Christmas Carol, is we're finishing up this weekend. So I've just got Friday, Saturday, Sunday performances coming up. And so that shouldn't affect episodes 164 and anything else moving forward. So I'll be done with that, and we'll be moving forward. So hopefully everything will stay on track, and we'll keep a regular schedule as best we can moving forward, right? So that's that. But hey, guys, thank you so much for taking some time with me and spending some of your Thursday night with me. Thanks again to our brother, our co-captain from BV Jalisco. I'm talking about Bernabe. Thank you so much for taking some time out for the interview. Great hearing about you and the chapter. Guys, I want to challenge you, as I always do, be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Most important words I say every week, guys. Never forget them. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So guys, have a great night. Enjoy the weekend ahead. I will see you next week, next Thursday night, for episode 164. Until then, take care. Stay safe.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard.